And joining us now, Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim. Breaking news this afternoon.
Yeah.
You've been covering this, and we're talking about the impact that it could have on the special session as lawmakers leave the state.
Yeah, we're all talking about redistricting right now, but we have to remember that was one of 18 items that was placed on the special session agenda by Governor Greg Abbott. And because of this quorum break, it really halts business altogether in the lower chamber here in the Texas House, and you need both chambers to pass bills. So basically, we're in a standstill right now with this special session, and we only have 2 weeks to go in this special session. It ends August 17th. As long as those 51 Texas Democrats stay outside of the state, they don't come back here to the Capitol, no business can be done. And you're going to hear a messaging war is going to start, and it's already started. You're going to hear Republicans, and Governor Greg Abbott's already released an ad that says it's targeting Democrats and saying, while Texas and Texans are working to help out the families in Kerrville, the families in Kerr County, the families up in Leander, Jonestown, the Democrats are fleeing, and look what they're doing. They're not here to actually get business done, to help with flood recovery relief, to help with emergency preparedness. On the flip side, you'll hear Democrats say that Governor Greg Abbott is holding those people hostage to make sure that they get this redistricting map finished, which was a wish or I more should say a demand from President Donald Trump to get those 5 seats for ahead of the midterms.
And certainly some important topics. We're talking about, both sides weighing in on what's going on, but Kerr County certainly is one of the topics that people are talking about. This was going to be discussed in the special session.
It's the biggest item, I would say, even in front of redistricting. Redistricting is getting the most attention, but think about the tragedy that happened. Over 100 people dying in these Independence Day floods. They had this special joint committee of the Texas and the House Committee on Disaster Relief and the Flood Response. They were in Kerrville this past week on Thursday. My colleague Adam Schwager, we were down there Thursday speaking with the residents that had time to go out and speak to the lawmakers. And some of the people are still living in their cars. Their houses were destroyed. I spoke to one man who's staying with his mother-in-law while he has friends living in the back of their cars. His son's living in a shed because they have no financial help to actually start rebuilding their lives. This is some of the things that the Texas legislature should be tackling. And right now, there is no bill that has been filed or voted out of committee. Granted, the Special Joint Committee just finished their field hearing, so they, of course, will start to work on those bills and get them to the chamber floors. But now, with this quorum break, it really halts everything.
I was going to say, I talked to Representative Schatzline on the phone talking about some of the topics, saying this is more than just congressional maps. Let's take a listen to what he had to say earlier here today.
So it's pretty clear. We're watching Democrats cowered down from the fight on the floor and flee, completely rejecting their constitutional duty to show up when we've been called for this special session. Also abandoning those that have been affected by the floods in Kerr County. They're they're abandoning their constituents that need genuine property tax relief.
A point you just were talking about before the soundbite there, but we've also heard for calls of arresting and removing members from their positions.
Yeah, so the last time that Democrats broke quorum was back in 2021. They fled to D.C. They were there for about a month. In 2023, the Texas House passed new rules that would penalize anyone who fled the state. And some of those penalties include a $500 fine each day that you're not there. So if we're thinking about all 51 Democrats, that's more than $25,000 a day that they're being fined each day they're not here in Austin to conduct business. Also, you hear them talk about, let's arrest these people, let's get them back here to the Capitol. Texas DPS, the Sergeant at Arms there in the Capitol, they have the right to go out there and arrest these lawmakers if they are within Texas. Now, we now see that a majority of these lawmakers are up in Chicago, where Texas DPS does not have any jurisdiction to go up there and arrest people and bring them back. But they could be on the hook for those retrieval costs of paying those troopers to go look for them around the state. They could be on the hook for that. They could be on the hook for expulsion. Some Republican lawmakers have even argued that the governor has the constitutional authority to vacate the seats of anyone that is not here. Vacate them, remove them from their elected offices. So it'll be interesting to see how this works. Quorum breaks in the past, they never work. It's a war of attrition. The governor can keep on calling special session after special session. Like I said, special session ends August 17th. The governor has every right to call one that starts August 18th, and the 30-day cycle begins again. So we'll see what happens and how long Democrats will try to wait out, I guess, the Republicans here for this redistricting map.
All right, Dylan McKim, thank you very much. He'll be following this. We have more stories online over at kxan.com.